Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my Asexual Life. This is supposed to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying this video as we go along. And don't forget to click that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And if you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex book. So, Asexuality Awareness Week is here. Happy Asexuality Awareness Week 2020. Woo, 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 woo. I'm feeling great. Oh, hi, Megan. Happy Ace Week. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Lots of love. How are you doing? I love the smiley face. Love the smiley face. So I posted a video earlier, a very, very short video, which was Asexual Awareness. I'd love it if all of you could share that video. I think it's under a minute long, so it won't be a big video to share, but it just gave a really, really brief nutshell of asexuality for Asexual Awareness Week. So the video before this one that you'll see, Asexual Awareness Week 2020 is the thumbnail. So if you can share that video to help raise awareness of asexuality this week, I would really, really, really appreciate it. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can. So thanks for the thumbs up. Lots of love to you. So what does it mean to be a sex-repulsed asexual? This is very important because a lot of asexuals are very, very sex repulsed. But again, the varying degrees of people on the asexual spectrum who are sex repulsed is very, very wide, right? So you don't just get one type of sex repulsed asexual, you get lots of different types of sex repulsed asexuals. Some sex repulsed asexuals, so first of all, a sex repulsed asexual is someone who's repulsed against sex. They don't want to have sex. Adina Avery. Hi, happy Asexual Awareness Week. Oh, Adina, hello, nice to see you. Speak facts. Happy Asexual Awareness Week. Oh, this is lovely. Oh, I love that. Speak facts. What is that? Is that like a little owl? It's so cute. So cute. Oh, it's lovely to have you here. I feel like I'm having an ace party. It's great. Thanks for the thumbs up. Lots of love to you. So yeah, sex repulsed asexual is someone who doesn't like sex, are absolutely repulsed by it, you know, but the repulsiveness can vary from asexual to asexual. Thank you for the thumbs up. So I'm in some sex repulsed asexual groups, and some people in those groups are so sex repulsed they can't even hear the word sex. So the fact I'm saying the word sex repulsed now would very much make them want to throw up, most likely. They really hate the word sex. They can't stand anything to do with it. They want nothing to do with it whatsoever. And it really makes them feel gross. Anything to do with it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to know about it. They'd rather have a life that's completely sex-free in terms of language, in terms of what they view, everything. They absolutely hate sex. Then you've got the people that are sex repulsed, but they're okay if they hear the word sex, or other people mention it, they kind of like washes over them, and it's like, okay, so you're talking about that again, right? Okay, let me get on with my life. And then you've got the sex repulsed asexuals that are sex repulsed for themselves, but they're not sex repulsed for other people. So they don't like sex for themselves, but if other people want to have sex, that's fine. And again, that is varying degrees. Some of those people that are okay with other people having sex, but sex repulsed themselves, some of them don't mind hearing about it, and others can't stand it. It's like, I don't mind you having sex, but you just don't talk about it in front of me. Whereas others are perfectly okay to talk about sex, discuss it with their sexual friends, even though they don't want sex themselves. Megan, I'm like that. The word which I call sibler weirds me out, along with other wording related to it. Oh, thank you very much for sharing that. Well, thanks for the thumbs up. Oh, I love all the thumbs up. Thank you. I'm feeling so much ace love tonight. It's really nice. So much ace love. And I didn't know that about you, Megan, so I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, so if you don't already know, I'm a personally sex repulsed asexual for me, but I have no problem in talking about sex whatsoever. I say whatsoever. There are there are slight limits. So, but I have friends both that are asexual and friends that are not asexual at all. And I do talk a lot on this channel about all the people on the asexual spectrum, going from those who are completely sex repulsed all the way up to those who are more on the more grey end of the asexual spectrum, and they, you know, those that do have sex. So I am not afraid to talk about sex. I don't hate talking about it in on this channel. However, when it comes to being in context with sexuals, I find that more difficult. Like on here, I find I can talk about sex a lot more easily because most people who watch this channel don't want sex, you know, they're not interested in it, and they're not wanting to have it. And so when I talk about it, to me, it's more matter of fact, it's more clinical, it's more you know, just something like that I mention, like you would do a I don't know, a training session or something, like something that happens to be there. But whenever I talk to sexuals, you know, if I've got any sexual guys interested in me and they are talking about the sex word, it just repulses me, because it's kind of like, not again, you know. It's like, can you not do that? It's like, can you not be a guy who actually loves me for my personality and wants to be with me and crazy about me for that? Do you know what I mean? Oh, hi Lisa, lots of love to you, thanks for coming to the Ace party, lovely to see you. Happy Asexual Awareness Week, I really appreciate you being here. So yeah, so I find it difficult because on the asexual spectrum there are so many people on the asexual spectrum, so many different variations, and as you probably know from following this channel, I am interested in finding a relationship with another asexual person, guy, because I'm only into guys. But I find it very, very difficult because a lot of the asexual guys that I come across, I'm either not aesthetically attracted to them, because I live in the UK, I'm mostly attracted to foreign guys, or the few, very, very few British guys that I do get attracted to, they just don't work out. And you know, so overall I still prefer foreign guys, but I don't want to move from my home here. So I find it very difficult, and there's so many variations. Like with me personally, I don't experience any sexual attraction whatsoever, but I have very grey areas of very sexual behaviour despite experiencing no sexual attraction. And I'm personally sex repulsed for me, but I'm okay with bodies intertwined with clothes on and things like that. So I'm okay with close body contact, but not if it's naked. I'm naked repulsed asexual as well as sex repulsed. Lisa, I once had a person I was interested in. He seemed asexual, however, he's really into sex talk, sexting, and it was hard for me. Oh, Lisa, I can fully understand what you're saying. You know, the amount of people that the guys that I speak to that say they're asexual, and a lot of them turn out not to be, or they're just too damn sexual for me, you know. And it's like, you know, like it's like some of them, they're like, oh, you know, they're just as bad as sexuals. Can I say that? You know, I don't mean to, you know, obviously not sexuals are not bad if they're with their own kind and people who want sex with them, but you know what I mean. Oh, he was foreign too. Oh yeah, some of them do lie. But it's like, you know, it's like I thought maybe I could be with someone on the more grey end of the asexual spectrum because I have sexual behaviour despite not experiencing sexual attraction, but I'm so sex repulsed for me. I don't want the intercourse. Do you know what I mean? That I know some people on the grey end of the asexual spectrum, some guys, they wouldn't mind having sex or mind trying sex. And, you know, and these are people that identify as asexual, and I just find it so hard. It's like, why can't I get love without sex from an asexual person? Do you know what I mean? I find it so difficult. I was like, do I just give up? Do I carry on trying to find someone? Do I just give up for now? What do I do? Megan, yeah, happens way too much, and it's unfortunate. It's hard enough as it is to find a relationship, and they make it feel impossible. Yeah, Megan, but I've been fortunate to find another asexual. Yeah, you've got Nick. I'm so happy for you. You know, but I mean, the British guy I liked recently, if you followed my channel, he is on the asexual spectrum, but he's more grey than I am. Does giving up mean giving into sexual activity? No, Lisa, it doesn't. I meant giving up on dating relationships. No, because I tend to just try and find, and I don't think I could ever. Yeah, I try to just find. I try to just look for a asexual guy. Do you know what I mean? Not a sexual one, because I can get sexual ones easily. I get all the sexual guys attracted to me constantly. I mean, I love going clubbing. I can't go at the moment because of obviously social distancing, but I love going clubbing and I get all the sexual guys interested in me. I love Indian guys, right? And I posted in one of on one of my friends' Facebooks because they said they play Indian music, and I'm like, well, I like Indian guys, as you know, and they're like, oh, and they said, you love a good dance club, yeah, it's really good. So I'm very sexy when I dance, but I don't want sex. So so when I go clubbing, which I absolutely adore, I do allow myself to kiss now in clubs because I adore kissing, but I don't like sex. And so this particular asexual person who I'm friends with on Facebook, when I said about Indian, like, because they said they play Indian music, I said I like Indian guys, and they're like, I know, and they're like, oh, like they said a comment about basically, about basically like if you get your foreign fantasy, basically it'll probably be then it probably won't last, kind of thing, so make most of it. But I said it's not a fantasy. Like, I've met Indian guys in my city. Do you know what I mean? I've met 3 in my club between November and March this year. November last year and March this year, but they're all sexual. It's not like I can't get an Indian guy. It's not like I can't get a foreign guy in the UK. I could if I was highly sexually driven, but I'm not. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want that in my life. I'm really sex repulsed. For me, I know I ask myself constantly, like, could I have sex again? Because I've had it in the past. I'm not a virgin, but I'm like, could I have it again? But every single time I'm like, I don't really want to have it. I'm not into it. I don't like it. It's not who I am. It feels weird. I don't get any pleasure from it. I get pleasure through kissing, but I don't get any pleasure through sex. It's just boring and a lot of hard work, and it's liquid everywhere, and it's just like, I don't like it. It's just not me anymore. I have had it in the past, but how I found out I was asexual, in case you don't know my personal stories, I went to a counsellor in 2014 because I was dating sexual guys, and the expectation of sex at the end of the night was so bad that I've almost felt like wetting myself with nervousness, and it was just horrible. I couldn't carry on. And when I went to the counsellor, I thought she was going to try and help me, but instead she said, I'd have to have sex in order to keep a good guy. And I was just like, how is that guy good for me if he wants something from me that I don't even want to give him and don't want to do? I mean, it's kind of like a license for rape, and it's disgusting. And, and it's like, oh, so basically you're saying a guy can't be good unless he wants sex, and it's just horrible and very upsetting and painful. But I'm finding it really difficult to find a right asexual guy. I mean, asexuals are spread apart. They're spread apart all over the country, all over the world. So it's not easy. Lisa, I similarly question myself at times. When I'm at the club, I sometimes find myself enjoying the close contact and intimacy of dancing. Oh, Lisa, you're very like me. Yeah, I mean, I love Dirty Dancing. Like, if you've seen the film Dirty Dancing, they dance very close with genitals touching through clothes, basically. So I even can have that. I don't mind that. But if a guy starts like trying to put my hand on his bit, or if a guy starts actually trying to like want sex from me or anything like that, yeah, I love a good grind too, Lisa. I'm glad there's someone else on here that's like me, because a lot of asexuals, they don't get that. They're like, I don't understand it. So it's really interesting because I'm on Facebook. I was on Facebook earlier, and I'm in a dating group. I'm in a lot of asexual dating groups. I run asexual dating groups as well. Even though I run asexual dating groups, I haven't found the right asexual to be in a relationship with yet, right? And I'm in this entrepreneur dating group, right? And I said, because they were on about it was a question about marriage. Do you want marriage? They were just asking all the group, and I said, no, never want marriage. Would like a romantic, sexless, and passionate relationship without marriage. And this person said, how do you have passion without sex? To me. And I said, lots of tongue kissing and bodies intertwined with clothes on is one way. And then this person said, don't get it. If you want all of the above, why don't you want sex? And I said, I am asexual in sexual orientation. I lack sexual attraction, so I never look at anyone and want sex with them. And I personally hate sex for me. Sex does nothing for me, and kissing does everything for me. And I get pleasure in the art of kissing alone without even bodies intertwined. Megan, I've never experienced anything sexual. I'm honestly glad I haven't. It just makes me feel uncomfortable hearing about it. Oh, sorry, Megan. Yeah, it's like it's really because I'm obviously with me, I'm sexual pulse for me, but I've got really great areas in similar ways, basically very similar to Lisa's, you know. It's hard to explain why it's good. Yeah, well, hmm. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Lisa. It's hard to explain why it's good. I mean, I'm very even if I dance on my own. So when I go dancing, right, for sometimes for an hour and a half, I'm not dancing with any guys. I'm literally dancing on my own. And a lot of the time, I mean, I used to take dance classes. So I love dancing. It's very good for my body. And when I do dancing, I very much get into the beat and I move my hips and I move my body. And it's very sexy the way I like to dance on my own. Like I dance with myself in the mirror there as well at the club, which really attracts a lot of people's attention. They're like, oh, some people are like weirded out by it. Other women decide to try and copy me. And then other guys, they come along and or women come along and well, guys obviously are always coming along, but the women or whatever, they try, you know, like, so basically you either have people who don't like it and they moan or make it known, people who look weirded out by it, and just stare at you. And you have other people that say, oh, this is awesome, I love what you're doing. And you have other people that try and copy you. It's kind of crazy. No, it's all good. I like hearing from you in an educational or informative way. Oh, thanks, Megan. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Like like I said, when I talk about it on here, I don't feel anything bad usually when I talk about it. But it's when I talk about it with sexuals, it's completely different because I know that they want that. Whereas obviously when I'm on this channel, I know that you don't want that. So it's more like you say, education informative. But if I'm talking to a sexual person, it's kind of like they're in it rather than separate from it, if you get my meaning. It's really difficult. Lisa, or even people that come up behind you, ha ha. Well, I'm very in a club, right? There's only certain guys I can be close to. I can't be close to every single guy at a club. There's only guys I'm highly aesthetically attracted to will I let near me physically. And if it's I don't get attracted to older guys usually, right? If it's an older guy, I'll let him hold my hands maybe, but it's got to be body space. If he tries to pull me near, I really get grossed out because I'm not interested in older guys. I can't bear to be with an old guy because I'm into younger guys, right? I'm an asexual cougar, not a sexual one. And so there's not loads. I don't go doing this stuff with every guy in the club. There's selected guys, like guys I'm really aesthetically attracted to, and probably if they weren't sexual or wouldn't mind being in a relationship with, you know what I mean? But I've learned at clubs now to just let them go, like be detached from them, and because it's easier for me to do that because I know they're sexual and they want sex, so I can remain detached. But when it's an asexual person, it's really difficult. Like the guy recently that I was interested in, that's really hard because I thought we had a genuine connection, but he lived miles away and there was no commitment, and so, you know, I don't want to waste my time with someone who's probably not going to be the right person for me. Do you know what I mean? You know, like eager to see me, really wanting to come down and travel to see me when they got their own car and all this type of thing. But it's like I was all right about it. It was good. And then like today I've been a little bit, well, last 24 hours I've been a little bit sad about it because it was hard. You know, I thought I had a connection. I thought the person genuinely was really into me at one point, but then I guess not enough. So, you know, but so in terms of coming up behind, I get a bit fed up with that. So there was an Indian guy that I danced with, and I was kind of like doing some grinding type thing with him. But he kept coming behind me because he liked my butt, you know. And it's kind of like I got bored with it after a while. It's like I want to see, because I get attracted to a guy's face, not below the waist. So I am not in from the, you know, from the waist down, all his genital area basically. I don't mind sitting on his lap or in between his legs, but I don't need any more function of that bit. Do you know what I mean? I don't need it to do anything. And so, you know, if this particular guy, he kept coming up behind me, behind my bum. I didn't want him to touch my bum, but his like body was behind it, and I was just getting so bored because it's like I'm attracted to a guy's face, not below the waist. So I'm attracted to a guy. You know, his face, is it beautiful? Do I want to kiss it? Do I want to stroke his hair? Do I want to kiss his sweet lips? You know, so as a sex-repulsed asexual for me, I'm not interested in the genital area of the bloke. I don't want to have oral sex. I don't want to have anal sex. I don't want to have intercourse. I'm not interested in any of those type of things. I have done 2 of them in the past. I've never done anal sex. Thank God. It just really makes me feel sick, the thought of it. And I've done the other two before in the past. This is going back, like, I haven't had sex since 2011. This is like nearly 9 years ago. It was October 2011, but I don't know what date it was the last time I had sex. It was like years ago, like nearly 9 years ago. But I know for definite I've never had it from November 2001. So next month I'll be celebrating my 9th year anniversary of being completely sex free, thank God. And I haven't done anything like that. I haven't done oral sex or intercourse since 2011, thank God, you know. And I haven't been masturbating a guy or anything like that. Sorry, this is getting a bit sexual, but you know, yeah, I haven't done anything like that, you know, as far as I can remember. There was a guy in 2013, however, I did do some stuff because I try and force myself to do some stuff. So I can't remember, but it was cleaning him in the shower. I don't think I actually touched him down there. And one of the guys was with, I think I tickled him a little bit. So yeah. But you know, as far as I remember, I haven't done anything like that. You can see how like repulsed I'm getting now, and I know that people are getting repulsed on me talking about this. So yeah, so it's kind of like weird. So I'm repulsed for me. I don't want all that, and you know, it's difficult because a lot of the guys on the more sexual end of the spectrum, they want nakedness, they want touching. Some of them are like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind trying sex, and I'm thinking, I don't want that. I'm purposely looking for an asexual guy so I don't have sex anymore. Do you avoid touching yourself? I do, so every now and then, but I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. I don't like touching myself that much. Until when was it? Until I found out I was asexual in 2014, Lisa, I didn't actually try masturbation. The whole idea of it repulsed me, made me feel sick and grossed out. And my ex used to do that type of thing for me, to be quite frank with you. And I used to prefer it. I used to prefer his finger and his lips to his penis any day. This was a guy I was in a long-term committed relationship with for 8.5 years, right? Who was heterosexual, not asexual. So before I found out I was asexual, right? That was who split up with me in 2011. And so, you know, so back then in 2014, when I found out I was asexual, and my grandma died that year, and I thought, oh God, you only live once, everyone's raving about it, so let's try it, which is a really weird thing to think. But when you have grief, you go through different emotions, and you kind of try weird stuff sometimes. And so I thought I'd try it, and then I realized that it can be quite addictive, but I still felt sick doing that. And I'm guessing that's because I am a sex-repulsed asexual. Like, you know, that area doesn't make me feel good. And I always preferred a guy to do my guy if I was in a relationship, committed relationship. I've never done that outside a relationship. You know, I always prefer it if he would do that for me, because I just feel weird touching myself, you know. But I've learned over the years that, you know, it's fine to do that. It's good to, like, you know, I'd rather do that than a guy that is no good for me to be in a relationship with do that to me, for example. But I don't do much of it these days, because it's like the majority of the time it doesn't really do anything for me, and if it does, I can't do much of that. It hurts, do you know what I mean, if I'm not careful. So because I used to have pain when I had sex sometimes in the past as well, so it's kind of like not really healthy for me or good for me, really. If I like, because I have high arousal levels but zero sexual attraction, sometimes I feel I need to do that to relieve the arousal feeling, especially if I'm interested in a guy, because the arousal feeling isn't like I want to have sex with him. But if I'm really interested in a guy, I'm feeling really like into kissing him, and I'm thinking about kissing him, the thought about kissing, whether it's him or no one, the thought of kissing does make me aroused, you know. The word sex makes me aroused when I hate sex, which is really weird. Just the word. So it's very weird. My asexual journey's been very, very weird. Very weird, because I don't understand why my body has involuntary arousal reactions to this type of stuff. So it's really, really strange for me. Elisa, that's what it is for me. I wasn't sure whether I could bring it up here or not. I sometimes feel guilty over getting aroused. Oh, you can share what you like, Lisa, on here. I'm very open. I'm probably one of the most open women asexuals that you'll probably find on planet Earth, because I discuss and divulge a lot of stuff. I've also got my Asexual Guide to Sex book that I'm working on that will come out. I really want to get it published before the Christmas if I can, but I'm still working on it at the moment. So obviously that is very revealing. And I've got 18 asexuals besides me in that book. They've all had sex before, talking about their experiences. So that's interesting. But yeah, I don't feel guilty over getting aroused. So I don't feel guilty over getting aroused, but I can understand why you might feel that way. So I don't feel guilty about getting aroused, because to me it's just natural. Especially with the aforementioned dancing, it really builds up. Right, yeah, I understand. Yeah, so basically, when I'm in close, like if I'm aesthetically attracted to a guy, really aesthetically attracted guy, and I'm passionately kissing him, and I've got bodies intertwined with clothes on, it is very arousing, because it's like genitalia pressing against some other body part of the person, or their genitalia, isn't it, really, to be blunt with you. And I know this is a sexual pulse talk. We've been talking about sex a lot. Oh my god, what is this channel like? It's so funny. The irony of it. I really have to laugh at the irony of it. And anyway, so yeah, but you know, like I don't feel guilty over being aroused. It's something that's natural to me. It's something I can't help, but it feels weird. It does feel strange to know I'm asexual, don't experience any sexual attraction whatsoever, diddly squat, yet understand that I've got high arousal levels that aren't aimed at anyone. But sometimes the things that guys do with me, like kissing and stuff, would arouse me. But I get aroused just by the thought of kissing with no one else involved in it. So it's more like the kissing is the arousal stimuli rather than the person, or the person just happens to be doing that to me, right? And so for me, it's very weird calling myself asexual, which I definitely am, but then experience high levels of arousal. For me, they're kind of contradictory terms, even though I know they're not, because arousal is not the same as sexual attraction. Sexual attraction is literally when you look at someone and think, I want sex with you, which I never do. Lisa, I often end up dry grinding, but no more. Oh, do you mean dry humping? I've got a video on dry humping on this channel. How to do non-penetrative sexual acts, and it's dry humping, and I used my cuddly toy to do a demonstration on. It was hilarious. Yeah, that indeed. Yeah, so dry humping's quite good sometimes, but the trouble is it can get too close to the genitalia. You've got to be careful not to get pregnant if the person like is doing stuff. Give me a demonstration, won't you? Haha. I've already done the demonstration before. I don't think it's appropriate to do it tonight, but it's on that video a long time ago. But yeah, so yeah, but it is weird. I think it's very weird when you've got high levels of arousal, sexual behavior like me. Yeah, I'm not sexually attracted. Yeah, look it up, Lisa, in my video, like on my channel, it says videos. You can search for it. I think it's called non-penetrative sexual acts, dry humping, something like that. It was quite a while ago, but yeah, I think it was last year sometime, 2019, I think. So yeah, so I think for me personally, it's very contradictory. Like I'm completely sex repulsed, as in I really don't want sex. The thought of it really makes me feel if I'm talking to a sexual guy, like I started a channel called Erogenicity because I feel that I'm quite erogenous without the sex, right? And I feel like obviously with the skills I got with dating and relationships, I could help sexuals. But I've only put 3 videos on that channel so far, and already I'm kind of repulsed by it, because I'm like, I thought it was going to be a challenge for me to see if I could do it, but I'm really not into it because obviously I don't like sex, and it's kind of like I'm feeling repulsed about even doing stuff on that channel anymore. I'm like, do I continue that channel or do I don't bother? Because obviously I'm for asexuals. Asexuality is my life and my passion. I live and breathe asexuality 24/7, 365 days a year. You know, it's who I am. It's my core being. But the whole point is I wanted to connect with more sexuals as well, so I can actually bring awareness about asexuality to them in a way that they would understand. So that's kind of like, but I'm feeling so sex repulsed on that, you know, at the moment. I'm just like, if I talk about it here, it's different. But if I talk about sex with sexuals, it gets kind of like icky, because it's like, oh, you want to actually do that? Do you know what I mean? It's like, really? And so it's kind of like really strange. But I do like, I don't feel guilty about being aroused. I just feel weird that I'm a complete contradiction, because I like black and white. I like, this is this is this. Like, you're either in a relationship or you're not in a relationship with someone. You're either going to do this with someone or you're not going to do this with someone. You're either this or that. Not great. And obviously having grey areas with my asexuality is the first time I've actually had genuine grey areas in my life. And it's very, very hard. It's like, because it doesn't suit my personality. It's like, I like black and white, but I am grey because I can't deny it. It's part of who I am. Lisa, you want to what? To my what now? Ha ha ha. Yeah, so it's very, very difficult. I think, like, being like with me, because I'm heteromantic, but I've got grey areas, but I'm not actually a textbook grey asexual because I don't experience any sexual attraction whatsoever. So I just feel really stuck. I find it's very difficult for me to get a partner because a lot of asexual guys that are heteromantic, they're not into much physical body contact, they're not into much kissing. And then the guys on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum, they would even consider having sex, a lot of them. They like touching, they like nakedness, they like genitalia stuff. And it's like, I don't like that. I just want passion without sex with my clothes on, you know? And sometimes the guys on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum, it's like, how are you any different to a sexual guy? Well, you don't have sex as much as them, maybe. Or, you know what I mean? But a lot of the time, it's kind of like a lot of the guys on who are asexual, they end up talking to me more sometimes about sexual stuff than well, I wouldn't say necessarily sexual, but they get turned on by my talking about kissing, to be quite honest with you. And I'm like, and then I start to get creeped out about it after a while. It depends who it is and what and how sexual they start talking to me, you know. And it's kind of like, really, how it's like, then I'm thinking maybe I should just try being with a sexual person because it's not going to be much different, is it? But then they're going to want intercourse. But like I say, there's some of the asexual guys that I'm meeting online. They just like more grey than me. They're more into sex, and it's like but they love kissing. The problem I have is I so love kissing for up to 3 hours, like tongue kissing, sitting on guys' lap in between his legs, body intertwined with clothes on, and that's very sexual behaviour. So I just get very, very stuck. I'm a sex-repulsed asexual for me. Yeah, I have sexual behavior, I have zero sexual attraction, yet I get aroused. It's like, how does that all work together? It just doesn't. It kind of like is very, very like a puzzle. It's like, how do you put all those puzzle pieces together? And it's like, when it's yourself and you are that person, you're a puzzle to yourself, it's kind of really difficult. I mean, I have to just accept I am the way I am, and that's it. I'm just a combination of lots of different things, which is great, I guess, for this channel, because if I hadn't got all these nuances to my asexual personality and character and feelings and emotions, I wouldn't be able to connect with so many different asexuals on so many different levels. I'm guessing that's why I was born this way, but to do this asexual work that I never knew I was going to do years ago. I found the clip, but you don't dry hump anything. Oh, do I not dry hump anything? It's quite a long video, and as far as I know, I am dry humping or showing. It depends what you call by dry humping. I mean, obviously I'm not full dry humping because that would be gross. Or not. I think I'm telling you what I would do if it was. I think I got Mickey Mouse in there. I think I got my Mickey in there, but I'm not actually going to be dry humping full on anything because that would just be like too much for this channel. I think I am on top of my cuddly toy, I think, if I remember right. But anyway, if I don't dry hump anything, I don't dry hump anything. But I know I talk through it. But yeah, there is limits because obviously this is an asexual channel. I don't want to completely weird everyone out on the channel, and I'm not going to do it like I would full on do it in real life. But yeah, so I think it involves my cuddly toy though. So yeah, so yeah, it's kind of like, you know, being sex repulsed. Like I said, there's so many variations. I know some sex repulsed groups, and I have to put trigger warnings if I post some stuff in there because some of my content can be more sexual than they'd like it to be, even if I mention sex. The sex repulsed asexuals in those groups, they really are detesting anything usually to do with sex. They hate the word. They can't stand anything to do with it. They just want to be left alone. All this talk is getting me excited. Oh, right, Lisa. I'm into guys, not into women, but yeah, I better calm it down if you're getting excited. Like, I don't get excited when I talk about, you know what I mean? Like, it's usually when I talk to guys. I may have to leave to help myself. Take care. Loved coming across your channel. Oh, okay, Lisa. Have a nice time with yourself. Oh my God. I didn't expect you to say that, but have a nice time. I usually get sexual guys saying that to me after they talk to me about, I talk to them about kissing. What is it with me? It's like I just get everyone aroused for some reason, even people that are asexual. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Never mind. On that note, yes. So going back to like people that are very, very sex repulsed, people that are very, very sex repulsed asexuals, they literally want nothing to do with it. Like, I actually hate sex on TV, in magazines. I don't watch porn. I hate anything to do with porn. I hate nudity. Because people say, like, some asexuals are like, oh, there's nothing wrong with being naked. There's nothing wrong with nudity. Some of them admire the naked body, and they're like, oh, it's not a sexual thing. It's just a naked body. But to me, I don't see it as just a naked body. I see it as something grotesque. I'm not into women's bodies whatsoever. And obviously, women are usually the people that are completely naked. And so, you know, all that thing repulses me. I'm not into like you know, like any type of nudity. I don't like nudity in sculptures, in paintings. I think the body should be protected. I think it shouldn't be displayed for whatever purposes. I think it's kind of precious to the person who has the body, and I don't think it should be paraded around, you know. I mean, I get guys who are interested in me, and I don't even wear any, you know, like I can just wear like a t-shirt with nothing provocative, no flesh showing, and they still get sexually attracted to me. But I do know sexiness is about confidence as well. It's not just about sex. Do you know what I mean? It's about being really confident in yourself. So, but you know, I think with being a sex repulsed asexual, like for me, I want a guy to fall in love with my personality. I want a guy to say, whoa, I want to be with Sandra as much as I possibly can. I want to travel to see her. I want to be in her arms. I want to hang out with her. I want to take moonlit strolls with her along the quayside where I live. I want to be in her arms cuddling her. I want to talk to her. I want to stroke her hair. I just want to look into her eyes. You know, I want all that type of thing, you know. As a sex repulsed asexual, I want all the lovey-dovey stuff. I want the intimacy in terms of not just physicality with kissing, but in terms of like actually having a deep emotional connection, and that person wanting to spend time with me, wanting to get to know me, wanting to like spend the rest of his life with me, really. I mean, I am looking for a serious committed relationship, you know, because I think at the end of the day, like, life is very, very short, and there comes a time when a relationship, if you're interested in one, kind of becomes more of a priority, and finding the right person for that is very, very difficult. But it's, you know, it's something you have to give a lot of importance to, because if you're going to spend the rest of your life with someone, it's got to be someone you damn well get on very, very well with, have a very deep emotional connection with, especially if you end up doing long distance, because a lot of asexuals are long distance. So it's something that you shouldn't take lightly. You should really think about the person, think, is this a good person for me? Do I love spending time with this person? Do I love talking to this person? Do I love being in this person's company? Do I love sharing my goals, ambitions, and dreams with this person? Can I see this person in my future in years to come? Can I see them meeting my family? Can I see them like just being with me day in, day out? Can I see me being happy with them? All this type of thing, you know? And so for me personally, as a sex repulsed asexual, you know, I want that. I want a guy to ultimately, first and foremost, just have to be like compulsory be with me because of my personality. And then second to that is looks. Like, I want the guy to look like my looks. Like, some asexuals get really weirded out if they're complimented or, you know, about their looks, but I want a guy to like my looks. I want a guy to say you're beautiful, you're pretty, you're gorgeous, I love kissing you, I love being with you. But obviously he's got to like my personality first and foremost, because if he doesn't, it's going to be kind of like based more on kind of looks and sexual stuff, I think. You know, I think it's hard to get a balance as well. You know, if you're a sex repulsed asexual that likes a lot of physical intimacy, but without taking clothes off, for me personally, that's very difficult. It's like, you know, is it, you know, like, is it going to be possible to get that? I believe anything's possible. You know, I believe there is a person out there for absolutely everyone. I don't know how many years it's going to take me to find my person, maybe another 15 or something. But, you know, like, I do believe there's someone for everyone, you know, but I need to get guys who's asexual really into kissing. Like, I really need his pleasure with physicality with a girl to be kissing, because all I want is the kissing and the cuddling and the holding hands. And close physical contact with clothes on. I don't want genitalia stuff going on, really. Like full on hand genitalia stuff. It's not really what I'm about. I don't really like it. And I'd be worried if I got with someone who's on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum that I couldn't sexually satisfy them, because it's like they have some similar needs to sexuals. And it's like, I really want to be with an asexual guy to get away from that. I want to be with an asexual guy in a relationship so I don't have to endure that pressure for sex, or not pleasing the guy, or he likes much more contact than I do, and having to do the oral, which is just disgusting, and having to like kind of push myself to do something I don't really want to do for the sake of making him happy, when I'm really not into that. I don't want that again in my life. I want a guy who's so into me in a cute, passionate, no sex, no nudity way. You would have thought it's asking for the earth, which it probably is in this highly sexualized world, but it's not really, And like I said, I like kissing for up to 3 hours, so I need a guy who's really into being kissed by me and really loves kissing, and the kissing is like it's a favorite hobby, like it is with me. So, but there's some asexuals that are sex repulsed, quite a lot of sex repulsed asexuals, and they don't like much kissing. They might have a peck on the cheek or a little peck on the lips. No tongue kissing like I would usually do. It would be very, very brief when they kiss. They wouldn't want it to linger. It's kind of like, because they're sex repulsed, they're into cuddling usually, most asexuals, not actually into kissing. In the vast experience I've got of 5 years of talking to many asexuals, that's how long I've been doing this channel for now. So it's very, very difficult to find a match, and for me, emotional connection is like really how asexuals love. You've got to have a deep, deep emotional connection with that person. It's got to be a connection that feels good, that feels healthy, that you both want. Like, it's no good being with someone who doesn't really want to be with you as much as you want to be with them. You need someone who's going to love you for who you are and be crazy about you, and that's what you deserve. So I really hope every asexual person who's sex repulsed, who does want a relationship, actually finds the right person for them. I hope you find that rare gem who's like, God, I just want to be with you for you, And that's what I wish for all asexuals, wherever you fall in the asexual spectrum, just for a person to want you for you. And I have to say that it's possible to get another asexual relationship, because I've got friends who are in relationships with other asexuals. I've got one that's married to his asexual wife. They don't have sex. They're not interested. They're sex repulsed. I've got another friend who's older, and they've got an asexual fiance. They don't like sex either. They're not interested in it. They're like, ugh. And then I've got my best friend Sam, who's in a relationship with another non-binary. They're not interested in sex, whatever, not really into kissing. So do you know what I mean? It's you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I just think, it is possible, I just have to find a guy that's as into me as I am into him, and who genuinely wants and loves the responsibility of being in a relationship and of striving to actually have a healthy, loving, long-lasting relationship together, who wants to work on a relationship and who wants to actually be in one with me, I mean, for any asexual relationship to work, and I know this from experience of my friends being in asexual relationships, you need to have another asexual person that's really into you. They're so into you that they wouldn't want to be without you, even if they could, if you know what I mean. And that's, that's really like on similar wavelengths, and physicality is very important, It's very important, if you are a sex repulsed asexual, that you have a person who's equally like kind of repulsed by a lot of the same kind of physical contact that you'd be, but equally happy to do what you want to do, but you're never going to find an absolute perfect asexual necessarily. But I have to say, my 3 asexual friends, they've all got really good relationships. Like, they are their dream relationships, like my older friend Ralph, he's even been on his channel saying that he doesn't fight with his girlfriend, fiance. He doesn't argue with her. They just get along. My friend Sam, who's in a relationship, they're so excited. That's like a dream come true. That's like their fairy tale relationship they're living. My friend John, who's married now to his asexual fiance, he couldn't be happier. So there are happy endings. Fairy tales can really come true, because I see these people. I hear them. I know how their relationships go, even though I'm not directly in them. I can just tell because of how happy they are with their partners, how when they talk about them, Do you know what I mean? They're always happy. So I do know it's possible to get the asexual dream relationship. I do know it's possible to find your soulmate because these people have found theirs. So no matter what heartache and pain you're going through at the moment, if you're a sex repulsed asexual, know that you can get someone for a relationship. You know, if you're a romantic asexual and you want a relationship, you can get someone, but it's gonna take someone being really into you back, you know, not just you being into them. And you know, I speak to quite a few asexuals, and a lot of them, they aren't really serious about getting a relationship. You know, that's the sad thing. You're like, oh, I'd like a relationship. I'm on a dating site, but I'm not really bothered about a relationship. It's like, well, what's the point in you being on a dating site then? What's the point in you even being on there unless you're prepared to actually have a relationship and want one in the first place? It's just like time wasting, surely. Well, it's time wasting if you're looking for a relationship and the other person isn't. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, in order to have a serious, committed, long lasting relationship, you've really got to want it and want the work that goes with it because it ain't going to be easy. But, you know, having said that, the three asexuals that I know that are in relationships, they don't really have many problems from what I know. It's, you know, it's kind of like the easy, you know, it's not easy as in the sense of like things happen in their relationship, but it's easier in the sense that they're together on it. You know what I mean? And, you know, they work together with each other. And, you know, so them being in the relationship's not the problem. It's kind of external factors that might cause issues. So I think it's really important, you know, like for me personally, I like younger guys, so you know it's important that I get on with the person's family as well, and they accept an older girl as well. So, but yeah, so me, sex repulsed asexual, like I've had some comments like, you know, like, oh, it's a good job you're asexual because you like younger guys. It's like, well, I still like younger guys even if I wasn't asexual. I mean, I get guys 18 years and upwards. I don't really want an 18-year-old, but I get guys 18 years upwards that are interested in me when I go out clubbing, you know, and they want sex with me. It's like I'm really not interested in sex. Um, so yeah, I just think being a sex repulsed asexual is kind of difficult if you're romantic, especially if you're an aromantic asexual, sex repulsed, you don't want a relationship, isn't really you know, difficult as in the sense of relationship wise if you don't date or want to get into a relationship. However, it can still be difficult for aromantic asexuals who have friends that aren't aromantic asexual because, you know, the aromantic asexual might get quite attached, for example, to a sexual person who wants sex with them, you know. So wherever you fall in the sexual wherever you fall in the asexual spectrum, whether it's, you know, like full on pure asexual or more of the sexual end of the asexual spectrum, it's still difficult if you're interested in any sort of type of relationship with someone. And for me personally, I have my best female friend. She isn't asexual. Her friend is not asexual. Her friend is a sexual cougar. I'm an asexual cougar. Her friend is a sexual cougar, and so she's highly sexual. So you know, I don't mind mostly like when they talk about it, but sometimes the sex talk gets a little bit too much for me. In general, asexuals who are sex repulsed, they don't like talking about sex, they don't want to see it, they don't want to have to go near it, they don't want anything to do with it. Do you know what I mean? And often a relationship can be too much for them in the sense that, you know, they like, oh, because sex always goes with the relationship and they can feel heartbroken and upset and in pain, you know. So I think, you know, it's best if you can, if you're asexual, to try and find another asexual person. Because unless you want sex regularly, then you really need to be getting someone who's more like yourself, in my personal opinion, you know. And, you know, there are a lot of asexuals out there. There are thousands globally. It's just they're globally. Do you know what I mean? It's harder to find someone. But yeah, being sex repulsed for me personally means I don't like sex. I don't like the thought of it. If I think about it, it means I would have to force myself to do it and push myself to do it for the sake of the person to make them happy, really. And I don't think most of the time I could actually go through with it. Doesn't really do anything for me. When I did it in the past, it kind of makes me, you know, I used to cry sometimes afterwards because it used to make me feel raw. And I think that's because like it felt maybe that I'd taken a part of me because it's something I don't actually want, like actively want. It was consensual, but I didn't, you know, like it's not like, hey, I want sex. And you know, for me, like I hate it in anything, TVs, newspapers, magazines, sculptures, paintings, like anything to do with nudity. I can't stand. It makes me feel I want to throw up, especially naked women's bodies. And to be honest, I'd rather be with a guy, if I was in a relationship with a guy, who didn't go looking at movies that have like nudity in them. That really pees me off, to be honest, because I just, as a sex repulsed asexual who's nudity repulsed as well, it makes me want to throw up. It's like, you like that? Really? Oh, because I like the storyline. And if someone says to me they like the storyline, it's like, well, you just sound like my heterosexual ex. It's just an excuse to me. It's like you could watch a million other films that don't have sex in it, but instead you decide to try watch that one. Do you know what I mean? So it really grosses me out, all that type of stuff. You know, and just the thought of sex just makes me want to throw up. I think I'm probably a little bit more repulsed with nakedness than I am with the idea of sex, a little bit. Because I can't, you know, I can at least talk about sex with nudity every time I mention it. It's like, oh, the visuals are just gross. Like, it's like, oh. So yeah. I hope I've given you a good definition of sex repulsed asexual. Sex repulsed asexual means someone who's repulsed by the idea of sex for them, and they might be repulsed by the idea of sex in general. They hate it, they don't like it, they don't see it's necessary, they don't understand what the fuss is about. They might be someone who, when they were younger at school, for example, like people were talking around them about sex and they were just like, God, that's so gross, that's disgusting. Why would you want to talk about that? I don't get it. I don't understand it. All these type of things usually go for a sex repulsed person's head. For me, when I was a teenager in birth certificate age, I was like, you know, like never thinking about sex ever. I was just thinking about romance and kissing, and I was thinking, oh, I just want to see this guy again I fancy, you know, and I just want to kiss him and I just want to cuddle him, you know, and that's, for me, is all I need for a sex repulsed asexual. You know, that is the romance, that is the love, that's a passion. It's all in kissing, cuddling and holding hands for me, you know, and that's what makes a relationship so much better if you've got someone who's very similar to you. So what I wish for all sex repulsed asexuals out there is for you to find the person of your dreams if you want a relationship. But always remember, the person of your dreams is sitting in front of the mirror, because it's yourself. Because yourself is beautiful, and every asexual is beautiful in and of their own right. Asexuality is a real, genuine sexual orientation that is the lack of sexual attraction. And that means, in broad terms, we don't get the need, urge, want for partnered sexual intercourse. Many asexuals are sex repulsed. They don't want to talk about it, think about it, know about it, do it. Sex repulsed asexuals, like myself, are sex repulsed for others, but not sex repulsed for others, sex repulsed for themselves, but not others. Yeah. And some asexuals are sex repulsed, but they can hear a little bit about it. I can talk about it quite a lot, but have no interest in doing it. Anyway, I hope that's given you some valuable insight into what a sex repulsed asexual is, the variations, because I think it's important to show the variations, how I'm different to quite a lot of sex repulsed asexuals. And I think it's just really, really interesting, insightful. I hope you've enjoyed this first Asexuality Awareness video live stream. I did post another Asexuality Awareness week video, which is under a minute long. So please go and check that out. It's a video before this. Please share it. I really want to raise as much awareness of asexuality this year as we possibly can. It's very, very important for the whole of mankind, really, to let people know there's genuine people that don't like sex, not interested in it. Anyway, thank you for the thumbs up. If you like this video, please share it with anyone you think may benefit from it. Don't forget to hit that great subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live, like now I post a new video. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight. Lots of love. Take care. And thanks to everyone who's been in chat. I'll just read through the people in chat. Thank you so much, Megan. Lots of love. And Adina. And Speak Facts. And Megan the Curse. And yeah, have I got everyone? Lisa. Yeah. Megan. Yeah. Everyone, anyway, good night, lots of love, and it might be good morning where you are, so wherever you are, stay ace, and don't forget to spread your asexual beauty wherever you go. Till next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. Bye bye, lots of love.